This is Randy Lawson, and you're listening to the 3 Count Podcast.
Welcome everybody to another great edition of the 3 Count Podcast, now entering the ring. I'm your host, Clifford Red Dog Miller, and let's go down the roster. We're going to introduce our first person because she is the flyest person on this show. You know her as Kira. I call her my little Keiki because, let's be real, she's Hawaiian, and that's what it means. She's my kid. And that's what we're going to do. Give it up for Keiki.
Ooh.
Is that what you're going to say? Just hello? What a waste of an intro. Next on the list, you guys know him. He is the host of the 3 Count Podcast. He is the living legend. You will adore him. He is the icon, the Don, Chaz Evans.
Awesome. That's it I got. Nah, I don't have nothing really. I don't have a good catchphrase today. Because I don't, I normally steal you guys' catchphrases. So I guess I'll steal yours, Cliff.
Okay.
New shirt catchphrase. That's it. That's it.
All right. Next up on the list, you guys know him because he's on every single one of these episodes to date. Also, the only reason why he's even on this podcast is because he's Chaz's little brother. You guys know him as the Napster. People know him as JJ. I call him Q. Give it up for Napster.
Bro, hi. First of all, I'd like to thank the sidewalks for keeping me off the street. Dangerous times going around, so make sure you're locked and loaded because the Revolutionary War Part 2 is going on outside. Chitty, babe, burn everything. That's all for me. Ooh, hand sanitizer.
Oh, my God. Now, our newest member to the team, you guys have heard him all the time in the last couple episodes, and then you guys can thoroughly enjoy listening to him rant about everything on this podcast. So, give it up for the man who's actually, when this podcast comes out, it's going to be a little too delayed, but he's getting married in a couple weeks. Give it up for the man, the myth, the legend, the only person who supports the Braves in this podcast, Anthony Lujan.
Don't tell people I'm getting married. Stop ruining my game. God.
So this is now entering the ring, which means one thing. We have a special guest for you. And this person, hey, she stays as fly as it gets. You can catch her everywhere in the Northeast. NEW is definitely a home for her. Give it up for the great Basic Becca.
Woo! Thank you for having me on the podcast.
We are so excited to have you on. I did forget to tell you that our intro is pretty campy, but
I liked it.
Well, I like asking this question first, but how this is going to actually work out, actually, I got to probably explain that first because, our viewers, this could be the first time watching. We're all going to ask you 3 questions. It's going to start with Keiki first, Chaz, JJ, Lou, but we all have 3 or 4 questions to ask you. And then we have our world-famous 10-count questions.
Sounds great.
So the first question I love to ask everybody, who is Basic Becca?
Like my gimmick or just
all about you. Who are you?
Who am I? So I've been training for like a year and a half. I kind of made my debut around last winter, early this year. So I'm very new to the scene. So my gimmick is Basic Becca. It's basically just me, but it's I kind of like to describe it as like deadlifts and cupcakes. I really like lifting heavy and powerlifting, doing a lot of power moves. But then I also just really love being over the top and ridiculously feminine. I love scrunchies. I love the whole visco girl aesthetic. Tie-dye, bright colors, and just I don't know, just being silly and fun. So
I can dig it. I can dig it 100%. That's awesome. So one of my other favorite things is every wrestler has this kind of story. So I asked everybody this question. What is your favorite fan interaction?
My favorite fan interaction, uh, I think I did a show in like Malden earlier this year, maybe like February, and I did like an intergender match against Alec Price, and it was a really fun match. And I can't remember what I hit him with at the end. I might have done a cutter or something, but this like little girl like came up to me afterwards and was just like uh just kind of like really enjoyed the match and like loved the ending. It was just kind of like talking to me about it. And she was just kind of like, I think when I came out, I was like flexing because I do that sometimes. I'll just like come out and flex because, like, you know what? I work really hard for these muscles and they don't come easy. So I'm gonna flex them. And so I like come out and I'm flexing, and like afterwards at the end, she like flexed after we had like talked a little bit. And it was just really adorable and like fun. And I'd never really like had that experience before because before that I was usually a heel, and so I wasn't like used to having positive fan interactions. Like I was usually like heckle with people or like, I don't know, screw around. So it was just like, yeah, it was really fun. And like, who knows, maybe she'll like do push-ups or something and feel empowered.
I like it. I like it a lot. So I guess like another question, and it's my last question for you, is like, what drives you so much to be in a business?
Honestly, I have no idea because it's so hard, like a lot of the times. And like, there's definitely days where I'm just like, why am I doing this? I just like really love wrestling. Like, I just really love being in the ring. Um, yeah, I just like think about it all the time. And I don't know why.
All right. So, Kara, it's up to you now.
How do you come up with your character?
That's a great question. So when I first started, I thought I like kind of exclusively wanted to be a heel. And I kind of had like a mean girl-esque character, but my my idea was like that the butt of the joke would always be on me. Like my character was like a mean girl who like thought that she was like really rich and like really cool, but like the joke was that I like actually wasn't that rich. Like I was like middle class, and like I like actually wasn't that cool. I just like bought all my Twitter followers or something. And like, so that was kind of like what I was going for. And I kind of like was kind of using the basic as like kind of a negative thing. So I've kind of always been Basic Becca, but when I like originally started with it, I thought it was going to be like a heel character. So I thought like basic was going to be used in like a bad way. But then like as I started wrestling, like I started really, you know, enjoying like experimenting being a baby face. And, you know, when you're booked, sometimes you don't get to choose. Like the promoter will just be like, oh, you're working babyface today. And it's like, okay, like that's what I'm doing. And so then I was kind of like twisting the character more to kind of like lean into like maybe like the like funny or like endearing aspects of being basic, which is like you know, like the silly basic girl who has like the scrunchies and like doesn't take herself too seriously, and like that's kind of like what it kind of evolved into, and that's kind of where I am now with it.
Nice.
What did you want to be when you grew up when you were younger?
When I was younger, I wanted to be a geologist. I was really into rocks. I like had a rock collection.
So did Cliff.
So I was a big nerd.
Who is your favorite Hawaiian character, and why?
My favorite what character?
Favorite Hawaiian character.
Hawaiian?
Not gonna lie, pretty much narrows down like to pretty much 2 movies that she really likes. So I see where this question's from.
Moana?
The question is from
We're having this
Sorry,
argument. Sorry. All right.
Lilo and Stitch. Lilo and Stitch.
I've actually never seen Lilo and Stitch.
What?
Let's go. Let's
No,
go.
stop. No.
Have you seen Moana?
I have.
There you go. You
Yeah.
can pick a character from Moana.
Oh, God, I mean, Moana's so cute. I love Moana. I love the Rock's character too. He's funny.
You gotta watch Lilo and Stitch, okay?
Okay. So I wasn't like allowed to watch Disney movies when I was younger. Like I had really strict parents, so I
Your
haven't
parents
seen a
knew
lot.
that Disney was a cult.
Yeah, but you're an adult now, so you can watch all the Disney movies you missed out on.
Yeah, that's. I don't have anything better to do now. So.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
When I turned 21, I was like, I'm having ice cream after 9 o'clock. What up?
When's the
then I
last
got
time you
yelled at by my
actually did that?
So, we're going to go to the Chaz next. So,
It's on me? All right. So, I kind of ask this question to everybody that comes on the show. Wrestlers have this, they all have like a little small story on what got them into, wrestling. So, my question to you is, what got you into professional wrestling?
Definitely like women's wrestling specifically. Growing up, I actually like didn't really know what wrestling was, and I thought it was weird and confusing, and I just like didn't get it. And I think like part of that was because I like didn't know that women wrestled. Like I thought it was just like Stone Cold Steve Austin, and I was like, I don't understand. There's like beer, there's like milk, like I don't understand what's going on, and so I just like kind of avoided it. And then, and like pretty recently, actually, I really haven't been watching wrestling very long at all. So I think like summer of 2018, I was just like I was working in Atlanta, and I only had a couple friends there, and I was just there like for a temporary job, and I just like had a ton of free time, so I just like ended up watching wrestling. It was like on TV, and it was just like I remember like seeing like Naomi and just thinking like she was the coolest person ever. Like I loved her gear, and this was before I knew anything about wrestling. Like I thought like her gear was so colorful and like cool, and she came out and there were like the lights and it was so like dramatic. So I definitely like Naomi. I'm trying to remember like what was actually going on WWE at that time, like what the storylines were. I feel like there was like something with Bailey, and I don't remember. But I also loved then when I started to watch it, I just like loved Sasha Banks, loved Bailey. I just got really into like the women's wrestling, and yeah. I guess, yeah, just Naomi, Sasha, Bailey.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, normally people ask you, like, what's the best match you've been in? I'm going to do the opposite. What's the worst match you've ever been in?
Oh, my God. This is an amazing question.
Spill the beans.
Okay. This is hard because I've had a lot of bad matches. So I have to narrow it down. Okay. I'm going to say, I don't want to say the worst one.
Okay.
Because there's really just nothing good to say about it.
Okay.
But I will say a bad match, But also one of my favorite matches of all time was the NCW Women's Rumble. And it's one of my favorites because it was so goofy and ridiculous and like over the top. And like I was a heel there, and I kind of like, me and a couple of the other girls like had our own like scrunchy, we started this whole like scrunchy squad thing, which like people ended up really liking, and now it's kind of like a positive thing, but like at the time it was supposed to be like bad, and it was just so fun. Like there was like it was probably like a week before the shutdown, so there was like 5 people in the crowd, and like someone was there in like a hazmat suit as a joke. Like that's how like close to the pandemic it was. Like it was like there was like no one there, and yeah, we just had so much fun. But it was also like very chaotic and like probably like not great to watch. Like there was like, because one of the problems was there's like not a lot of women in the New England area. So when you try to have a women's rumble, you end up with a lot of really green people who like just haven't had a lot of ring time, and like, you know, things happen, people get lost. It's not really anyone's fault, but you know, things get like messy and unorganized. But that being said, I think the chaoticness of it was also why it's like my favorite match, and I actually watch it all the time, and really I like laugh and enjoy. Me and my friends watch it all the time because it's just so ridiculous.
That's so cool. That's actually the best answer we've gotten for that question. All right, my last question is pretty easy one. Do you prefer to work heel or face?
I can't say, because I think it depends who I'm working and where I'm working. Like I really like working babyface at like the Limitless tapings, because like I get to do a lot of like cool stuff that like I might not do on like an indie show, and like people really like seeing that there. Like a lot of like flippy stuff, and like trying out like, I don't know, like flashier moves. But like on like indie shows, I like being heel because you have that like like the audience interaction, and it's just so fun to like mess with people and like have them mess with you back. So I think it just depends. I like them both.
Alrighty, I guess it's my turn. So the first question I'm gonna ask you is, let's say we had a time machine and we fast forward 5 years. All right, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Wow, that's such a good question.
Well, I
mean, sign me, anyone. I'm here.
That's a great answer.
Yes, I love it.
I mean, I would love to go to Japan. I love women's Japanese wrestling. I think it's so entertaining and different. And I would love to work in Japan. So ideally in 5 years, like, I'll be signed, have worked in Japan, be living the dream.
That's awesome. That's an awesome answer. My next question would be, what is the worst bump you have ever taken so far?
Oh my God. These are such great questions.
Thank
Seriously,
you.
all of these have been so good. Oh man. I think it was when was this? Maybe at the last Limitless taping. I took a bump on the apron, and it wasn't, sometimes it's like the sneakiest, most random bumps. You're like, a sidewalk slam on the apron, or like whatever, that's not gonna be that bad. And it just wrecked me. I think I was like sore the rest of the weekend from that one bump.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, I've heard like sometimes like the easiest bumps just become like they just hurt for some reason, like that you just land wrong maybe or something.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Just
ooh.
gets you the wrong way.
So my next question.
Yeah, ask Cliff about 3/4 rolls.
Oh God.
Sorry, Cliff. I couldn't help it.
That's how I got.
Yes.
For
I
those
was trying
listening,
to
that's how I
avoid it,
got
Cliff.
hurt.
I was trying to avoid it.
No,
I'm actually nice.
everybody's gonna throw me under the bus about it, man. That's how I got hurt. Okay, I did a 3/4 roll,
Oh,
and I got a
no.
lower ab injury because of it. Yeah, it's
Oh,
fun. We talk about it. Ha ha ha.
I couldn't help myself. It was just the setup was too perfect. Everything just lined up.
You
I wouldn't
knocked it
be
out, Chaz. You
Thanks.
knocked it out.
Thanks, bro. Because I mean, like, I would you couldn't call me your friend if I didn't.
But I will say, I will agree with you. Taking bumps on the outside, like on the apron, suck because I've taken reverse DDTs on the apron, and one time like I didn't land right, so they're like, okay, we're gonna run it again. We're gonna do that same spot, and we did it like 3 more times, and I was like, I can't take this bump no more. I was like, we gotta go somewhere else.
yeah, the apron is like brutal.
So my final question, before I was rudely interrupted by my brother. I always ask this question, and like I always get like different responses, and it's always kind of unique. So what is some of the best advice that you could give for like up and coming wrestlers coming into the industry?
Oh, that's good. I would just say don't give up because I think so many people start training or like start doing shows and like don't give up on like being good and like achieving your dreams because I think like people start training and then they like drop out or they like start getting on shows and they stop going to training and I think like always like trying to maintain forward momentum and like not getting comfortable and like staying focused basically like yeah. And I think it's hard because training can be really hard and like trainers can be really mean and the people that you're training with can be competitive depending on where you're training. And I think like a lot of people get like, they're like, oh, I made it on shows, like I'm good, like whatever. But I think like keeping training is like really the key to getting where you want to go because you can always improve on something.
I love that answer. It's gonna be honest. All right, so our newest correspondent onto the show, Anthony. The floor is yours, sir.
Basic Becca. What is your favorite move that you've hit in a match?
I really love my finisher is in like the air raid drop. I love doing that. It's so fun.
Okay. What is your favorite food to eat the day of your wrestling?
The day that I'm wrestling, honestly, I eat a lot of muffins just like in general. And I feel like a muffin is good because it'll like give you like the sugar and like the carbs, but it won't like not too much, like it'll weigh you down. It's not like too sweet like a cupcake. So big muffin person. Yeah, probably muffins. Or like berries. I like strawberries.
That's a good one. Can I have your autograph? No, I'm just kidding.
$20.
I like it. I'm just kidding. Who inspires you?
Wow, that's a great question. I feel like a lot of there's some people in the New England area that inspire me a lot. Davy N is one of the best, female wrestlers in New England, and she's her wrestling mind is amazing. And so she just inspires me to continue to really understand wrestling, the psychology, and she's just a badass. So I love Davy Ann. Sasha Banks inspires me. She's just awesome. And I love Sasha too, because I do feel like she also kind of embodies that spirit of improvement, and I always see her evolving and changing and growing, and that's something I really respect about her. So
Thank you.
Yeah, and there's no doubt. I mean, you brought up a great point about continually going to training and learning and developing, especially with someone like Sasha Banks, where we just saw her recently. I guess it would have been last year-ish. She was in Japan, just training. That's what she was doing. Because I am the host of the show, and because she asked me so politely, I decided to give little Keiki one more bonus question.
Well, if you were stuck in a deserted island, and you could only eat one food, what food would that be?
Wow. That's a great question.
I'm trying to think about that myself.
Me too. I was like, oh.
wow. Man, I feel like I'm gonna say pancakes. Yeah, I'm gonna say pancakes.
Okay.
Because there's so much variety of flavor, and you can do protein pancakes, and
That's true.
get all your supplements in. Or you can go sugar. You do a crepe. I'm gonna consider a crepe a pancake and say that I could eat crepes also. So
I'm gonna put it out there. I don't get paid to say this, but for our Hawaiian listeners, please tell everybody about how great Boots and Kimos is with their banana macadamia nut sauce pancakes. Best thing on earth. Yeah, I'm not even gonna lie. I'm putting over Boots and Kimos. You heard it here on the show first. I tell all my friends that that's where they got to go when they go. So if they go, I tell them that's what. Yeah, the best. So now that we got our sponsorship out of the way that we're not getting paid for, let's get on to the world famous 10-count questions. Questions. Too great echo. So what it is, right? First thought that comes to your mind, we have 10 questions. It makes it really simple. And we're going to put on our imaginary clock. Bing! And Basic Becca, here we go. SmackDown or Raw?
SmackDown.
Batman or Superman?
Superman.
Favorite lift?
Lift?
Yeah.
Lift.
Weight lift.
Oh, deadlift.
Hey. Bonus question: What is your PR?
265.
Oh, bruh. Favorite candy?
Twizzlers.
Last show you binge watched?
Catfish.
Let's go. Coke or Pepsi? That's awesome. I'm not gonna. You know what? That's a great show. You do you. Coke or Pepsi?
Coke.
Last time you laughed out loud?
15 seconds ago.
Yes.
Favorite drink of choice?
Polar seltzer.
Favorite YouTube channel?
Meg squats.
So close to the 3-count podcast. That would have been the correct answer. And our favorite question to ask every single person that comes on here. Favorite curse word?
And don't be afraid, you can say it.
Plug your ears, Kira.
Oh man.
She walked
She
out.
left.
You what? Just wait.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I'm gonna say the F bomb. You know.
What's the F bomb?
Friends?
Fuck.
Hey, there we go. Let's celebrate. That is the 10 count questions. Makes it easy. So please, by all means, Basic Becca, tell our listeners where they can find you.
So you can find me on Twitter at notbasicbecca. You can find me on Instagram at baby.karate. And you can add me on Facebook. It's Rebecca Ann. And the picture is of a wrestler. So that should narrow it down. Yeah. And yeah, watch The Road on Limitless on IWTV. Because I'll be appearing there throughout the rest of the show. They have like, I think 10 or so episodes. I was on episode 2. There's 2 episodes out so far. Definitely check those out. It's a really fun show. And then yeah, there's like 8 more episodes coming out. Waves and Curls is on it. So party. So yeah, check it out.
Awesome. Well, that's Now Into the Ring with Basic Becca. I, of course, your host, Clifford Red Dog Miller, with Chaz the Icon, with JJ, with the K Key, with Lou, because that's what we're going to call him from now on. This is Basic Becca, and tune in to the next episode. So be there or
Be somewhere else.
Hello, Three Count Podcast. If you enjoy what you're watching and you wouldn't mind going out your day to support us, go follow us on Twitter at 3count_pod, Instagram 3countpod, and if you want to look dripped out like your boy JJ, go to prowrestlingtees.com/the3countpod, and it's the number 3. Oh, and by the mention, we have a YouTube channel, so go check that out. The 3 Count Podcast with the number 3. JJ out.